Hello everybody on YouTube, this is Super Nintendo, and welcome to my review of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Now, for those who may not be aware, I'm a 90s kid. Totally 90s! So I grew up with Crash and Spyro and whatever. But unlike Crash, I haven't played much of the Spyro games. I remember Ripto's Rage, Spyro 2, the most. So most of this review is going to be based on the reignited version of Spyro Ripto's Rage, or as I call it, since it's the Reignited Trilogy, Spyro 2 Ripto's Reignited Rage. Okay, I'll get on with the review now.
Whoa, rough landing. Hi, which way's the beach? Hey, stop staring. Haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before? Hey, wait a minute. How do we get ourselves into these messes, pal?
Spyro Ripto's Rage is basically, it takes place after the first game. Spyro has freed all the dragons, defeated Nasty Nork, and now he wants to go on vacation. So he goes to Dragon Springs, or Avalar, actually, because some asshole named Ripto shows up to Avalar and takes over the place. So Spyro and Sparks must set off on an adventure to free the land of Avalar and like a dozen other worlds, maybe more, from Ripto's grasp and solve their shit, because people in here are lazy. So I probably should have mentioned in the beginning that I'm just gonna have some random gameplay show up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you guys can see, you know, gameplay. The gameplay is what I was most worried about, because looking at Spyro the Reignited Trilogy, I couldn't help but be reminded of the Insane Trilogy for Crash Bandicoot. And I'm sure this is very controversial, because the last time I made a comment about the Insane Trilogy, I got condemned to hell at least 5 times. So, I'm going there anyway, you fucking assholes. But much to my surprise, the Spyro Trilogy actually plays like the original. And from what I can tell, everything works the way it should. I haven't encountered too many problems. Every now and then the frame rate will hit the fan, like that. The frame rate will just dip in quality, typically during cutscenes that are graphic intensive, I guess. Like one of the earliest cutscenes in Spyro 2, the point where Spyro just shows up for the first time in Avalar, it was really freaking choppy. The camera can also be kind of a problem. The camera at many points is less than ideal, but if you are playing with the reignited controls, which I'll get to in a moment, there is a solution for this. One other thing, and this appeared later in my playthrough, like recently, Spyro can get stuck inside of things. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it's annoying. It's kind of weird. But other than that, I've been really enjoying myself. Now, I'd like to talk a bit about what the Reignited Trilogy has in comparison to the Crash Trilogy. I think that Toys for Bob, the developers of the Spyro Trilogy, actually played the Crash Trilogy and were realizing, you know, this doesn't play at all like this. They really fucking messed up with this. So let's give the fans exactly what they were asking for. Controls that felt like the originals, blah, 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 blah. You heard that. But two other things. that they added that I really like. The ability to switch the controls back to how they were in the original games, for the most part, and the ability to switch the soundtrack with the Reignited soundtrack, which is on by default, or put the original soundtrack from the original games in, like, have those play. And I love this. I love this because, like, I've listened to quite a few of the Reignited Trilogy soundtracks, and they're pretty decent for what they are, but I prefer the original soundtrack by far. But, on the other hand, I prefer the Reignited controls because it has like a little Zelda thing where you press on the L2 button and the camera centers behind you. That is a godsend with the camera controls, with the camera issues I was having early in the game. One other control thing that I find really weird, and I don't remember if this was in the originals or not, when you press the triangle button, it pulls up like a little first-person camera thing, like a little aiming thing. And, but the triangle button is also the button that you use to flap. Like, you glide and then you press the triangle button, and he does like a little flappy thing to get a little extra height and distance. But now, you have to press forward on the control stick in order to execute the flap. Otherwise, you're just going to go in first-person view and fall like a freaking rock. This happens more than I'd like to admit, but I can't tell if it's the game fucking up or if it's me. I'm inclined to believe either because, you know, hand tremors cause my... whatever. You've heard that stuff before. So, yeah. The cutscenes are fucking gorgeous. The gameplay, the models are really, really good. Very, very cartoony, very emphasizing. Much like the Crash Trilogy, everything is redone from the ground up. It's not a remaster, it's a remake. Just want to say that outright for anyone confused. It's not a remaster or a port, it's a remake. Goddamn. Alright, so all the voice acting is completely redone. Some of the characters are recasted, like the Electro Troll people, who originally were voiced by Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, and he did his SpongeBob voice for the Electro Trolls. But now they are... I don't know who does them now, but they're not SpongeBob, or at least they don't sound like SpongeBob. It's not a huge detriment, but I prefer the SpongeBob voice. I hope they add in a feature to put in the original voice acting, because I got a feeling like the original voice acting with the newer models and stuff would be really fun to have. I also love the little touches they have. Like when you try to light money bags on fire, he protects his little bag of gems. And how those things don't rip through his fucking bag, I will never fucking know. But it's a really good addition. It's a really good addition. So, all in all, I would say that this trilogy is worth buying. It's $40 on the PlayStation shop. I'm assuming it's going to be coming to the Switch sometime in the future. It's honestly really, really fun. And I would argue, like, it's the definitive way to play the Spyro trilogy. Some of the gags aren't as funny as they are in the originals because, like, they, like, substituted some of the, like, the part where the professor in Spyro 2 is like, I think my glasses are broke. Well, they're not just broke, but they're, like, backwards, you know? But in the Insane Trilogy, the Reignited Trilogy, they're also, they're just facing forward and they're cracked. So, that's not quite as funny, but, you know, games aren't all about the humor. So, oops. I forgot to actually mention what you do during the gameplay. Stupid me. Well, the gameplay is very simple. Did you enjoy Super Mario 64? You did? Well, then you're gonna like this. It's a collect-a-thon. You spend your time collecting gems, orbs, and talismans. And then you fight bosses and you win. That's the basic gist of it. How you get the orbs and talismans and whatever, well, the talismans is roughly the same way every time, but the orbs, you have to complete different challenges, and these challenges can be anything from solve this puzzle to help this guy wrangle up his sheep. Pretty simple. Honestly, the fun for me comes from the amount of variety that you do. Also, the humor. Yeah, let me know what you think of this review. I'm trying to make it less rambly. I'm trying to make my reviews and the facecam videos less rambly, so let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, alright? See you guys then.
Okay, no problem. I'll collect a few talismans, give Ripto the old hot foot, and be in Dragon Shores by lunchtime. Somebody help!